and today I'm going to teach you two knights game and its trap. So let's start. So here white plays e4, black replies with e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. The idea is to create a threat on the f7 pawn with the bishop. So now black plays knight to f6, creating a threat on this pawn and developing the knight. Here white has two options. White can move his knight to c3 or white can move his knight to g5. If white moves his knight to c3, we will get the same structure as of the four knights game. So here white plays knight to g5, which defends the pawn and creates a big threat on the f7 pawn. So now we can see that black has to do something about this threat from the knight and bishop. So black plays his pawn to d5, which blocks the bishop's diagonal. Here the only option for white is to capture the pawn. Here we can see that there's a threat on the knight. So here black has two options. Black can capture the pawn or black can move his knight. If black captures the pawn, it will be a trap and I'll tell you that later. So here black plays his knight to a5 and we can see it's a counter attack. So it's clear that the light square bishop of white is a good bishop and it has to be defended. So another counter attack, bishop to b5, and we can see it's a check. So black can defend it by the knight, by the bishop, or by the pawn. The best way to defend the check is to defend it by playing c6. Third counter attack, d takes c6, b takes c6, and bishop to e2. h6 is to remove the knight from its outpost, so we cannot defend it, so we have to move, and that is knight to f3, another counter attack. So that's a good pawn of black, which is on e5. So another counter attack from the black side, which is e4. So now the good move here is knight to e5, and it's a centralized knight. So now this was the main line and I will tell you the trap. So I told you that instead of moving the knight, black can capture the pawn. So if black captures the pawn, we can simply move a pawn to d4. So it's an attack to the e5 pawn and the only option is to capture the pawn. So here we castle and we can see that white is much ahead in development from black. So to develop, black plays to develop his light square bishop. Black plays bishop to e6, but this was a mistake because now we play rook to e1 and now the bishop is pinned. To defend the bishop from two threats, black plays queen to d7. Queen to d7 is a good move, and now we play knight to f7. So the only option left is king takes f7, but many of you may be thinking that now we can't castle, so the good move to play is queen takes f7. Instead, this is a bad move because now bishop takes d5, and now if we play the king to d6, defending this bishop, we can simply capture the knight. Pawn takes bishop and queen takes d4. So we can see there's a huge advantage for white. So queen takes f7 is a bad move. So king takes f7 and now queen to f3 check. King to g8 is a good move because if he goes back to e8, all the threats will retrieve. Like bishop to g5 is coming, and then you can simply capture this knight. So now the only option left is for white is rook takes e6 check. Now we took a piece that we sacrificed, and now white and black cannot capture the rook, because if it does, then bishop to d5, and now the queen is pinned. So now it cannot move, and white wins. So the only option here is rook to d8, supporting the knight, because it was no longer supported as bishop was captured. So now the rook's file is blocked, and now we can simply take an advantage of that by playing bishop to g5. It's a threat to the rook, but also uh, we lost the rook. We will lose the rook here, because after this the skewer will no longer take place, because if we capture the knight, can capture it back. So now the only option here is to move queen takes e6 and bishop to takes d8 and queen to e1, bishop to f1, queen to e6, and we defend our bishop by playing bishop to h4. So hope you like the video. If you do, please subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon and like the video. Thank you.